Sorry, we didn't talk about who was going to start. Welcome, everybody, to the latest episode of the Spillin pod as Jesse and I stare blankly at each other, waiting to see who's going to start the podcast. If you're just joining us, welcome. This is a podcast for myself and my best friend, Jesse. We talk about sports, we talk about pop culture, all sorts of stuff. Honestly, we talk about all sorts of stuff. There's some socio-political commentary on occasion. Basically whatever pops into our brain and we want to talk about, you're going to hear it here on this pod. If you're a regular listener, we're back on our regular scheduled programming. Thanks for joining us last week for our special live draft special. I used special twice. Jesse, I had so much. I want to just talk about it just for a quick second. I had so much fun doing the live stream of the first round with you.
Oh, that was so cool. And
last week.
What's hilarious, though, is that I think I did the least amount of prep out of any of our pods so far, but there was just something about the genuine live reaction to it. I think that was really special, and I'm hoping we can do that. Like, if we ever get, like, a Game 7 of an NBA Finals or something, you know, if we ever get, you know, just something really cool in the sports world that we can live react to, I think that'd be a ton of fun as well. And yeah,
absolutely.
I am definitely here to do that for the NBA draft, pending the lottery results, because I might not be okay, depending on the situation.
Yeah, we may need that one. We're gonna have to wait on seeing where the Pacers pick. By the way, this is Ashlyn commenting on my hat in the chat. I believe. Do I still have the sticker in here? I think this is the 2014 draft cap. It's the one that has
Solomon Hill,
like kind of like the jersey stitch. Yeah, I believe this is the Solomon Hill draft cap.
What an incredible pull I just had there.
That is crazy. But yeah, I just, and I'm rocking, the rock. We're building towards Rocktober, so I had to.
I got the green on too.
I got
both working towards Rocktober.
But yeah, so like I said last week, we did a special for the NFL draft. Don't think we're really, we are briefly touching NFL today, but we're mostly talking about some other sports and kind of pop culture. We're back to some of our games. I'm excited for the games. We have Jesse and I want to highlight, tease you a little bit. Probably our most deranged combo of playlist names that we've come up with yet. But Jesse and I both were like, we have such clear vision on what it's supposed to look like. So I'm excited for that. Play a couple fun games. Talking some movies and some other wacky stuff. But Jesse, I believe, well, I know, you put this first segment together. So if you want to intro us on what we're going to talk about first.
Yeah, this is a classic. If you've been watching the pod for a little bit, we do this quite often. It's the buy or sell. This is, of course, in reference to the dearly departed Around the Horn, one of our favorite shows growing up when it comes to sports talk, and really just kind of quick hitters on some big things that we've been seeing in the sports world. Premise is pretty simple. If you like it, you buy it. If you don't, you sell it. And we have kind of muddied the waters a bit by doing maybe some soft buys, some soft sells, and we have the hard buys and sells. We do it the way that we need to do it, right? So this first one is based off of something that happened in the Minnesota Timberwolves and Denver Nuggets series. And if you didn't catch up with that, at the end of the game, McDaniels on the Timberwolves had a breakaway. The game was over, clock was running out, went up, took a layup, and put a little exclamation point on the end of the game. Nikola Jokic took exception to it and started a bit of a fracas over on the sidelines. Julius Randle got involved, some fines were handed out. So, Ben, my question to you is, are you buying or selling the unwritten rules that say you can't score at the end of the game if your team is up?
Yeah, I've never sold harder on this segment. I think if you don't want to get scored on like that, you should not suck. I'm sorry. Look, there's a difference between, just continuing to bomb away from three and, grinding into the dust, or NFL teams throwing Hail Marys down 40, and basketball, it's a 24-second shot clock. You get a breakaway. What is he supposed to just go to the corner and hold the ball and wait for your defense to catch up? Honestly, to me, that's more disrespectful.
Yeah.
It's just continue to play the game. You don't have to go crazy with it, but stop me, right? If you have umbrage with scoring, stop me.
So here's my thing. I'm actually gonna go a step further than you, and this is one of the hardest sells that I've had on this podcast as well, if not the hardest. The amount of money people spend to go sit in those seats, right? You're talking $65 plus taxes and fees, which is probably another $65 if we're talking Ticketmaster. Plus, you got to pay $30 for parking. You're paying probably $40-50 if you're taking 2 people for food, right? You're spending it's a decent penny, right? And it reminds me of several years ago when Zion Williamson did the same thing, and I could hear the color commentator on there being like, no, don't. And he throws down a ridiculous windmill dunk. Look, I'm paying all of this money to watch Zion throw a windmill dunk, okay? Let me see what's there. This whole unwritten rules thing, I think, is it's a relic of the past. It needs to go. Baseball's even worse with it, but I am 100% show me some flair, show me some fireworks, give me what I paid for.
It also just comes across as so bitch made. Yeah. Of like, oh no, you're scoring him. I mean, like, you can't do that. That's mean. Yeah. Like, you're a grown ass. Like, I love Nikola Jokic. He's a great player. You're a grown ass man. You've won multiple MVP awards. Make a play.
Yes.
Like, instead of just whining and like starting a fight, it literally, especially when you're getting clapped, it just reads so petulantly. Yeah. That it infuriates me when they do that. You need to be
more worried about your X's and O's on the other side.
You should have had that passion in the second quarter, my guy. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, absolutely ridiculous. All right, so this next one I think is going to stir some things up, and I feel like both of us need to say definitively for this one.
Well, yeah, I wanted to ask. Well, give the topic and then I'll ask.
So this one is LeBron James is the greatest player of all time. I'm not sitting there saying, oh, he's the best basketball player. He's the best. No, he is the greatest of all time. We're talking the GOAT, right? The absolute GOAT. Are you buying or selling LeBron as the GOAT?
I wanted to ask,
yes.
Why did you choose now to have this debate?
Because I feel like this is something that I've never really discussed, even with you, that I've never kind of put down as a definitive thing, because I'm not 100% sure I even knew the answer for a while. But for me, I'm buying this, okay? I am buying that LeBron is the greatest of all time. And it took me a while to get here, right? And I know I have my recency bias. I know I grew up watching him, and I watched how he progressed through things. But you have the peak greatness, and you have the longevity. Right? It's not just the longevity. His peak greatness, I have never seen an athlete perform the way that 2016 LeBron James did in those NBA finals. There was nothing else he could have done, right? And he ended up winning that series for them. But it actually kind of sparked from a tweet that I saw, and it was tongue-in-cheek, and it's funny, but it's also, it goes to speak about his longevity. And someone said he literally created a teammate that he could throw a lob to in the playoffs.
Right? I did see that same tweet.
Absolutely hilarious. So to me, right, I think it's long past due for me being a Pacers fan and despising the man for so long to give him his flowers and acknowledge that he is the greatest of all time. That is not a slight to Michael Jordan. The NBA does not exist in its current form without Michael Jordan, right? He, without a doubt, is one of the greatest athletes of all time. You can call him 1A and 1B, whatever it might be. But for me, I'm taking LeBron.
It's funny that you said when you introed this whole segment, you know, sometimes we soft buy, sometimes we soft sell. In my notes, I wrote, I don't know, can I push? LOL. I'm very similar. I think gun to my head, you forced me to choose. I think I would probably agree with you. It's hard. You mentioned the recency bias. We just did not watch Michael Jordan growing up. You know, like, his dominance happened mostly before we had formed corneas for hoop. So it was just too early for us. And again, you know, I hated him as rival. I thought he was, and still can be, extremely arrogant. But, you know, I'm sure I would have felt the same way about Michael Jordan too. And that's where, like, maturing and getting older, I was just like, this dude is insane. Like, this dude is an amazing player. He can be a punk, sure, but like most athletes can, and probably a lot of guys that I like are also punks. They just are punks that I root for. It's the case I make all the time about Marcus Smart, right? Yeah. It's like, I hate that. You hate playing against that guy, but the second he's on your team, you're like, dude, nobody grinds harder. I think Lou Dort is insanely dirty, but if I was a Thunder fan, I would probably bleed for Lou Dort. You know, like, and so once you kind of put that bias aside and you really just think like basketball, one of the knocks on LeBron was like, oh, he couldn't get it done until he had like superstar teammates or he had to leave Cleveland or whatever. I mean, Michael Jordan had arguably 2 top 50 players of all time also with him.
Right.
In Scottie Pippen and Dennis Rodman, and then plenty of other good role players.
Yeah, Steve
It's a
Kerr's
different
not a
era. It was a different era where, like, if you just had that on your team, like, that was an inherent advantage, and it was harder for other teams to catch up to you. I think the 3-1 comeback against the Warriors, honestly, to me, is just... I don't think you can over-talk about, like, how insane that is.
No, absolutely.
And I think the stretch of just consecutive, like, we're just in the finals. We're in the Eastern Conference Finals. It literally doesn't matter. Just copy paste. Doesn't matter who's on my team.
Finals,
doesn't matter who's left standing. We're just there. Some luster has kind of been knocked off of that in the last couple of years as he hasn't kept that up. But he's also 41 years old.
41 years old, yeah.
And honestly, it's so I asked you why you wanted to bring this up now because I have some Lakers takes we'll get to later. But he's still doing it, you know? Like, he's still
kicking.
Driving the bus, kicking ass. I think if you force me to choose, it probably is LeBron.
And it's hard because, I mean, MJ seems so untouchable for so long, right? That there could never be another one. There could never be, well, we got him, you know? And it's hard. It's a very hard decision, but, you know, you can appreciate both, I think, too, because...
Yeah.
They both played in very different eras. And like I said, it can be 1A, 1B, but I don't think you can have the conversation without LeBron being at least at the bare minimum step for step right next to him.
Can I ask you a hypothetical?
Yes.
What if Jordan did not take his his first retirement from the league, and he retired before the Wizards stretch? Would you think about his career differently?
Yes, I would.
Even if he doesn't win the title, like a seventh ring, I think he would have. I think you would think differently because unlike LeBron, like as established, like is LeBron one of the 10 best players in basketball right now? I don't know. That's more of a discussion,
right?
But it's a discussion, right? Whereas the end of Jordan's career, like I think I really like. Also, just like I'm sorry to the Wizards. This was not meant to be slander about you, but like the vibes of playing for the Wizards are very different than closing out your career as a playoff contender with the Lakers.
Right.
I feel like we would talk about, I feel like it would be a lot more of a discussion at this, because I feel like we've kind of, as a sports media, not to say that we're necessarily sports media, technically we are.
Us.
I think that we've kind of shifted, and the majority now probably would say LeBron, not just because of the points records and all that, but I wonder if it would be different if Jordan's career had a couple different turns. Anyway.
I think so too, you know, and you think about how both these guys are going to be going out. LeBron's going to be able to kind of call when he's done, and he's going to be a productive elite level player, right? Jordan was still scoring a bunch, but he clearly wasn't the same guy, and he was verbally abusing Kwame Brown in his spare time, right? It's a very different.
Relevant either. Like the Wizards, he was just cashing a check, like.
And it's hard to say that it was for the love of the game at that point. All right, this next one, Ben. My notes just say KD in parentheses. Ben holding specifics till pod. What's going on with this one?
Okay. So the reason that I'm holding the specifics is because I wanted to get a live, honest reaction out of you, and I'm looking to see if I screenshotted the tweet. This was a tweet that I read that really made me think, and I wanted to discuss it. Okay. Kevin Durant. The tweet that I read, which I'm not finding, but it was the gist of it basically was we think about Kevin Durant the wrong way.
Okay.
What this tweeter basically was saying, he's not actually a true number one. He's just the most elite number two of all time. And the gap is so wide that we just think, and he's so talented that we think about him as a number one. But is he the best number two of all time? Or is he an underachieving number one? And this is all arbitrary, right? Like, it doesn't actually matter. But I think it made me think. So I'll let you answer first unless you want me to answer while you stew.
No, I think I do have an answer. I'm gonna soft buy that he is the greatest number 2 of all time. It has nothing to do with his basketball ability. He is a number 1 basketball ability through and through without a shred of doubt. But he has shown that he cannot lead a team. And that matters.
Yeah.
Right? Because you can you know how much I love Tyrese Halliburton, right? You can definitively say without a doubt that Kevin Durant's a better basketball player than Tyrese Halliburton, and that's probably going to be how it is for his entire career. The way that the Pacers rally around Tyrese versus basically an entire career's worth of things involving Kevin Durant not being a great teammate or really just not stepping up as that guy have kind of proven that theory correct. And again, it has nothing to do. He can take over a game. He is a flamethrower. He can score from any point on the floor. One of the greatest offensive masterminds of all time. But if you're talking definitively full package as a player and a teammate trying to lead a team, and you're talking about it's a fair comparison, I think, because when you're talking about a number 1 on the team, you need that guy to have that alpha feeling, right? You need him to be able to just go, all of you get on my back, let's go. And he's shown that in spurts, but never consistently enough that you're like, yeah, he's taken him to the promised land. You assume he's going to, but assuming in what has actually happened in his career are 2 very different things. So I'm soft buying that.
I've thought about it. I'm definitely buying it, and here's why. Again, he's the 6th leading scorer in NBA history with one more relatively productive season. He's like 1,000 points behind Kobe. He'll get there, right? That's, you assume that he keeps up his current scoring average. That won't take long, right? That's like half a season. He just, like you said, the success as a top dog is not there. His early runs with the Thunder, what they achieved in reaching the finals the year that they did was incredible. And obviously he had Westbrook and Harden, but he was the true engine on that team for sure. He's had a lot of success. He's won multiple rings, but he didn't get them until he went to Golden State. And though he might have been you could argue he was the most impactful player on that team, he was not the top dog.
No.
He was never the top dog. That was Steph's team. And then all this like Brooklyn stuff and, where he is now in Houston, which has just soured, and the ill-fated Phoenix run in between that. I don't think he has what it takes as a leader and as a true centerpiece. He hasn't had a successful playoff run without since leaving the Warriors, right? And are we thinking about him differently if his foot is shoe size is one size smaller, and they win that series and in advance and maybe win the title against Giannis? I think that was that year, right? Yeah, probably, but they didn't, and I think I like the framing of he's like hit a class of his own as far as like a number 2 option that, like, saying number 2. Yeah, he's like a 1B. Like, saying number 2 feels dirty, but I think when you stack up the guy, he's one of the 15 best players of all time.
Yes,
I think,
without a doubt.
But in terms of being the guy, that's a different conversation.
Very different
me.
conversation.
And I think I'm selling that.
Yeah, I would agree with that. All right.
And those are the nits you have to pick at that level.
Yeah, honestly, especially with how talented the league is now, you gotta be able to lead. That comes with the territory. All right, our next one is going back to the NFL draft. The draft is currently spread across 3 days, and I don't know how I feel about it. I think I'm soft selling the draft being spread across 3 days because I feel like it could be condensed, but I'm interested to hear on what you think. Buying or selling?
No, I hard buy the 3-day draft.
Okay.
I
I'm
think.
interested to hear why.
Let me break it down for you. The first round is already. But we talked last week on the pod as we were doing it. We liked the shorter clock. It kept it shorter. It was still almost 3.5 hours. Day 2, you also have a longer clock. Not quite as long as the first round, but that takes about the same amount of time. I think trying to squeeze it into 2 days it would be so long.
Yeah.
Like you could argue like, oh, you do one on Saturday and one on Sunday, but I just think the glitz and I know some of it is silly, but I love having the first round standing alone. Teams can, all the craziness happens. Teams end that night and they wake up and they're like, all right, here's where the money is really made. Like we gotta make all these day 2 and 3 moves. Here's the guys that slipped. Here's what we want to go up for. You're still drafting like really. I think it's a good separation of your round 1 picks are like these are the guys that'll change our franchise.
Right.
Hopefully that's your goal.
That's the
days 2 and 3, or I'm sorry, rounds 2 and 3 on day 2. Your day 2 picks. Those are the guys that get you there, right? They're not necessarily always the guy. They can be and again, I'm speaking generally because obviously there's always exceptions. I mean, Tom Brady was a 6th-round pick, but your round 2 and 3 picks, you're like, these guys are key parts of our championship drive, but they're not necessarily the guy. And then your day 3 picks are like, these are the role players. These are this year it was on day 2, but usually it's like, this is our like blocking tight end, or our 4th or 5th offensive lineman sometimes, or that slot receiver that makes some key plays, or this depth piece at cornerback that helps us stay afloat in November. Our special teams aces. I just like the way that it separates out into tiers of players, and think for both pace-wise and that player tier-wise, I like it. But I'm also, sorry, Twitch, I'm a whore for the day 3 of the NFL draft when the TV is about like the analysts are 10 picks behind. It's an experience. It's honestly my favorite day of the draft because it's just truly like a whirlwind experience for football sickos. But I like the 3 days.
I actually had this as a soft sell, but hearing you break it down actually does change my mind quite a bit because I never really considered how the days differentiate between the tiers of players. Obviously, I can think about, right, I could have probably have gotten there at some point, but hearing it in that regard actually makes me do want to buy it. There is something about the pageantry of the first rounds. In my notes, I put maybe trying to put rounds 1 and 2 on a Friday night, and then just having like a marathon Saturday starting at like 9 a.m. or something. Could be fun, but no, I think I'm switching live on Twitch here. That I'm gonna agree with you.
I just think the pageantry is a good, and like it's for show. Does it actually matter in terms of like wins and losses? No, but like there's prestige. Like a 1st-round pick, that's prestige. Yeah. That's the night money that you can really like flex. Those are your 32 best prospects. I've at least maybe not best prospects, but 32 top choices theoretically. And then night 2, like these guys are difference makers. Like you want to know. I think it also breaks down for like fans really easily. We're not casual fans, right? Outside of the podcast, like you and I know probably like we could look at the top 30 players on all rosters, and we're not gonna probably know every single player, but we're gonna at least have some familiarity with a lot of those guys. Your day 1, like your casual fans, like those 1st-round picks, they probably know a good chunk of them, right? Yeah. Top stars in college football, those are guys that have been being talked about on the talk shows. Days 2 and 3, you still have some of that, right? You're going to recognize some guys. There's going to be some guys you've never heard of, some freak athletes that weren't big names. And then day 3, you're like, I don't know who this North Dakota State lineman is, but he was bare-chested in the snow, bench pressing a log. Right. So, like, I'm about
6'8", 415. We're going to see what happens.
I just really think I like the setup. Yeah. I'm sure, I don't know. It's one of those things I don't think they'd actually condense it because they love owning those 3 days. Yes. But
and the
I don't know. We could
comes from that too.
Yeah. I like it.
Alrighty, our last buy or sell here. Going to baseball. If you didn't hear, the Boston Red Sox fired everyone and their mother over the past week or so after a very disappointing start. We've talked about their disappointing start on this podcast, and with that, this fire sale, buying or selling, is this a good move? Typically, I'm not a fan of doing it this early in the season, but I actually am going to buy this one. This team has been underachieving for a little bit, and I'm just not sold on Alex Cora being that dude. I don't really buy him as a legitimate baseball guy, and I think a lot of that has to do with just my disdain for what he did
I was gonna
as the
say, is this
Astros
Astros
manager.
motivated?
So that doesn't help anything. But as far as the Red Sox go, they don't really have time to waste right now. They got to develop these guys, and if they're not seeing development out of their young core, they got to move on in a different direction. And they clearly are not seeing eye to eye. It's not just performance on the field, right? You know, there's always discussions happening behind the scenes, and they're not connecting. So normally I hate it this early in the season, but in this very specific instance, I think I'm for it.
So I'm actually gonna soft sell I'm hard selling the timing for sure.
Yeah.
I'm gonna soft sell the decision on a whole. By the way, Alex Cora did win a World Series as a manager, so
He cheated.
Look, I know, I understand the Astros stuff, but this is not a complete scrub as a manager. He was had a 534 winning percentage. Here's my thing, right? Not the Astros, Jesus, they're also underperforming. The Red Sox for sure have been underperforming for several years. You know, they won the World Series in 18. They won 92 games in 21. They won 89 in 2025, but mostly have been just above or slightly under 500 since then. Right? That's unacceptable for the Red Sox.
Yes.
But I feel like they also have made just so many curious roster choices in the last couple of years. It's hard for me to qualify, like, to blame Cora for that. And I know they cleaned entire house, so it's not just Cora. But I don't know. First of all, it's wild to fire your manager after you win by 16 runs. I would have at least waited like a day or two,
right?
Pick the loss. Like, you're not, like, you're 10-17 right now. You firing the manager. You're not it's not one of those things where if you wait one game too long, the whole season's tanked. Like, the vibes are bad. You just fired everybody. But especially for me, you've played like 25 games and that's enough. You've seen, if you ever fire your coach in the first quarter of a season, to me, in any sport, you should have done it in the offseason.
Correct.
If you didn't believe in them enough for them to start, because like baseball is such a, like, what if the Red Sox kept Cora, right, and then won like 8 of 10, right? We'd be having a different discussion. We'd be like, oh man, Alex Cora's steady hand really turned it around. Like, baseball is such a fickle sport that sample size like that is crazy to make a choice off of. And if you were already thinking about it, you should have done it before the season started. I did also think it was crazy so the Red Sox fired Cora, and then like the next day, Phillies president of baseball operations, Dave Dombrowski, called him and was like, hey, so we're about to fire our manager. Do you want to just come manage the Phillies? I wish he had said yes, because I truly cannot think of a like scenario in baseball, in my baseball knowledge history, where he just like was managing the Red Sox, broke spring training, got fired, and then the next day was hired by another team in season. Would have been just
a movie.
Truly preposterous. I would be remiss if I did not point out, honestly, the clubhouse did not seem to support a lot of this, and it clearly like doesn't, a lot of quotes about not understanding the direction of the team. One of the loudest voices in that discussion is my guy Trevor Story.
You do love some Trevor Story.
I do, but it's kind of a tough look for the guy batting 197 to be the vocal. I don't think we have a direction as a franchise, because, buddy, that direction probably realistically does not include you. So if I were you and your boss just got fired, I would not be complaining about his bosses, because you are not playing well. And now my man Trev did have a good season last year, which was his first good season in some time, but his best season in some time, but has not exactly been a stellar acquisition for the Red Sox since 2022. So I don't know. I just thought it was funny. It's like the bench players talking like starters. I hate to see it, even though he is a starter. But I was like, man, I would hit above the Mendoza line before I start criticizing the team's direction, because you're part of that, buddy. You are part of why your manager got fired. So I don't know.
Not liking the direction of where your balls are going, sir.
Right. They don't like the way that your balls hit mitts, but they can't fire you. So.
All right, let's transition. We didn't really get to talk a lot about the NBA playoffs just because of timing. We took that week
We
off.
literally haven't addressed it yet.
And with the NFL draft, first and foremost, before we get too deep into this, third quarter just started of Game 6 of the
90 to
first round.
36.
It is 90 to 36.
I'm sorry to jump the gun, but I'm just like, this is unbelievable work from. I'm looking at the box score. OG Anunoby in hold on. Actually, Mikal Bridges in 21 minutes is plus 43.
This is
9 of 11 from the field.
They just hit another three. It's 93 to 38. The Knicks
are shooting 68% from the floor.
They are absolutely
and 20 of 22 from the free throw line.
Putting the Hawks on the endangered species list on their own tonight. So that series.
Oh my God, Jesse, I'm sorry. Can I read you one more line right here? So it's my screen says 95-38. In 12 minutes on the floor for Jonathan Kuminga, the Hawks are minus 40. In 12, I'm taking it, you guys, I'm sorry if you're going to see this on the pod. This is the most preposterous thing I've ever seen in my entire life. I don't think you guys understand how bad that is. That means they were out. That's a quarter. 12 minutes is a quarter. And that's like playing one quarter and being beat in that quarter by 40 points.
They're literally like, do the Knicks have Air Bud out there tonight? Like, what is happening to Atlanta? Like, I don't understand. Oh, then two guys got ejected for having a scuffle at the end of the first half because apparently there's like, nope, we're done here. I don't feel like if you're getting beat by 60,
I would also want to be in the showers early in this one.
Yeah, if you're getting beat by 60, I'm swinging on Mikal Bridges. I'm sorry. Like, he's a good dude, and I know he's not going to probably hit back too hard because he's just a nice guy, so I'm going after him, right? Or I'm taking my shot at Jalen Brunson to get some payback for him trying to headbutt Andrew Nemhard last year. But
Karl Anthony Towns has double-digit scoring without a single made field goal.
Preposterous.
This is a hang it in the Louvre type box score.
I am so excited to see what it. Here's the thing: if Tibbs was still leading the Knicks, those starters would be playing 45 minutes tonight. You know they would.
What's the record for most points scored in a playoff game? 157 by the Celtics in 1990.
Right. Let's see.
Folks, we're on record watch. We'll check back in at the end of this pod and see where we're sitting.
All right. So besides Atlanta getting wiped off the face of the map completely, these series have been fairly competitive, especially in the Eastern Conference. I know we had the clean sweep by the Thunder over the Suns, and then we had the Spurs taking out the gentleman's sweep of the Trailblazers. But Eastern Conference, all series go to 3-2. A lot of interesting storylines there, but I want to hear your opinion on the favorites right now. And I think if you're looking title favorites, to me, I think we're looking at an inevitable Thunder Spurs Western Conference Finals. And to me, that feels like the eventual NBA champion is coming out of that section of the bracket.
Can I interest you in an alternative path?
Let's see it.
It brings me no great pleasure to say that I am starting to consider the Los Angeles Lakers as a potential title contender.
Spicy.
They're getting some crazy contributions from their non-stars.
Yeah.
You know, Luka is out, right? Luka's missed time. They're dealing with other injuries on that roster. The way that Luke Kennard and Marcus Smart have stepped up.
Kennard's been crazy
on this team. In the absence of Austin Reeves, right? He's played one game of the playoffs. Has Luka even played in the playoffs? I don't think he has.
I don't think so.
Right, because he got hurt at the end of the So you're missing arguably your two of your three best players.
Right.
Marcus Smart and Kennard have just stepped up in unbelievable ways. Rui Hachimura actually is playing a nice series. Ayton has been like there, which has been enough.
Reeves came back, put up 22 in his first game back.
I don't know. Look, their path is like impossible because they're going to have to beat the Thunder. and then they would have to likely beat the Spurs. So I'm not saying that I'm projecting the Lakers to win the title, right? But they have my attention for sure. Otherwise, I mean, the Thunder obviously took care of business. Thunder took care of business against the Suns. That was impressive from them. The Spurs are really good. They handled some Wemby wiggles, I guess you could call it, pretty well, I would say. Obviously taking care of a lesser team, though. I'm interested in seeing what they'll do against. They'll play the winner of the Nuggets and the Wolves, which if I'm the Spurs, I'm big Minnesota fan right now because I would rather play the corpse of the Timberwolves. Not that either team I think should really scare them. So I definitely think the Spurs will probably emerge from that half of the bracket, and the Thunder probably will take care of the Lakers or the Rockets if they somehow miraculously pull it off. Man, does somebody from the East have to play in the finals?
It is the worst part about Tyrese getting hurt. Obviously, is the opportunity cost, right, of losing game
This
7.
East is so open.
But this year's East, are you kidding me? The Pacers would have dominated this year's East. And I just hope the East can hold on one more year of just being mid, because there's really nobody in that. I went into the playoffs thinking it was the Celtics, right? I went in thinking it was the Celtics just because Tatum, and they're not showing me enough right now. They're really just not showing me enough against.
They're down by 1 right now to the Sixers.
And a 3-2 series. It's not. You need to blow the doors off of Philadelphia, right? Like, you need to absolutely be running through them for me to look at you seriously. The Knicks, outside of tonight, have not really looked super impressive either, right? They put it together, and tonight is a statistical anomaly, right? It's a dominant performance, and I will give them their flowers for that because I hate the Knicks. But it's a statistical anomaly. They're going to run into resistance at some point, and quite honestly, they haven't been that overly impressive throughout the season. But yeah, I don't see a pathway for any of these teams in the East. I mean, Orlando, give them credit, have played really well against the number 1 seed. The Cavaliers,
it's because the Pistons stink.
Yeah, and the Cavaliers and Raptors series, I watched it the other night, and it was a brick fest. I mean, it just, none of it is exuding confidence. And I feel like there are 2 to 3 teams in that Western Conference that I would take very easily over anybody in the East right now.
Man, I'd rather even see the Nuggets. The Nuggets haven't even been very good.
Right.
I mean, they're losing to the Timberwolves, but you swap the Nuggets with the Raptors. I don't know, man. I just want to. We talked a lot about the Pistons. Obviously, they were such a surprising number 1 seed. Cade Cunningham is playing 40 minutes a night in the 5 games that they've played. He's dropping 32 points per game. He is averaging 6.5 turnovers, which is why they're losing, because they're just turning the ball over like they're being paid to do so. Tobias Harris is actually dropping 20 points a night. Good for him. Jalen Duren, 10.2. Those are their 3 players in double figures.
Rest in peace, Jalen Duren. We'll miss you after the poster from Jamal Cain.
The Pistons are such a dookie that I don't want them to do it. And that's the thing, is the Magic are also an awful basketball team.
Yeah, they're not,
and one of those great. One of those teams is going to have a real chance to make the conference finals. I think the Cavs or Raptors whoever wins that series will probably dog walk the winner of the Magic Pistons series. I mean, literally, Jamal Mosley has been it feels like it's pretty widely understood that he's not going to have his job next season. But man, if you win this series and then you handle the Cavaliers or the Raptors and you make the conference finals, I don't know. Your coaches have been fired for making the conference finals as recently as last season. Yeah. But I don't know, man. It's just so gross. We make the joke every year for the last 5 years about how the East shouldn't just automatically get to play in the finals. And this is the worst East by far, I think.
It's so bad. It is.
At least last year, we went on a Magic run.
Yeah.
The Knicks were really good. You know, there were good teams in the.
Were really good in the regular season.
The Cavaliers were the team of the regular season. You had real teams that you looked at and were like, they could get there.
Yeah.
I'm looking at this right now. It's probably going to be Boston because they'll win out eventually. Like, these teams are bad. Like there's not a none of these teams have inspired confidence in the
Just don't
playoffs.
see it, and
Nobody's taking care of business.
I guess that's good for Pacers next year. Moving on, provided that Tyrese poor thing, can stop getting sick and we can move forward. And but yeah, I'm not impressed at all with any of the Eastern Conference teams. And have you watched any of the Magic series at all? Have you seen any of those games?
No, I value my vision, so I don't. I'm sorry. You could not. If we were monetizing this podcast, I would watch it. But I don't think right now you could pay me. I'm just going to check the score. Here are the scores of the games, by the way. 112 in today's NBA. 112, 101, 98, 83, 113, 105, 94, 88, and 116, 109. Guys, I can't stress to you enough how bad the basketball is over there. The Magic just won a game the other day where they had 17 shots blocked. Like that, like, yeah, I really like our listeners who are not like the most diehard basketball players or basketball fans. I don't really know how to convey to you how ludicrous it is that they won that game while getting 17 shots blocked.
It's
like,
here's my question to you, and if you ever go back and watch some of the highlights, what does Jalen Suggs do exactly? Right?
See, here's the thing about Jalen Suggs is he is very talented. It's kind of like the meme. It's like, we've built this basketball player that can do everything. His only defect is he's bad at all of it.
Right. I was watching.
18. They had 18 shots blocked. The Magic made 30 field goals and had 18 shots blocked.
I don't want to rag on Suggs too much here, but
I'll do it.
I was watching the last few minutes of the game the other night, trying to be a good Orlando Light here, and he didn't.
Is that what you guys are, Orlando Light?
I don't know. That's what I'm calling myself. But he had no plan for what to do with the basketball, and I don't think the team had a plan for what to do with the basketball. It was basically
they don't have an offense.
It was hand it to Paolo, let him ISO. They started double teaming him, and everyone stood around like, "What do we do?" So Suggs does it. He tries to drive in on 3 people and gets blocked. I'm like, son, what are you doing? What on earth are you doing?
I'm looking up some stats because I want to know if Jalen Suggs and Haley Van Lith have the worst shooting percentage of any basketball couple. Haley Van Lith shot like 33.5% from the floor in her rookie season. Jalen Suggs, as a guard, shot 43% from the floor in the postseason. In the postseason, he's shooting an almost identical. Hold on, he's shooting 33.8% from the floor in the postseason, and Haley Van Lith in her rookie season shot in her rookie season shot 33.9% from the floor. Match made in heaven.
Alrighty, sticking with ball here. The big news coming out of the NBA this week is the talking cue ball. That is the commissioner of the NBA, Adam Silver. He has been going after tanking. We've talked about it on this show, so we don't need to go too deep into the lengths that the NBA has decided to go with the tanking. But an official proposal has been set to all of the owners of the league about a new draft lottery. And if you're fairly new to NBA basketball and you're not familiar, the draft lottery is set up in a way right now that the 3 worst teams in the entire league have equal odds to get the first pick. They each have a 14% chance to get the first pick, right? The Indiana Pacers right now are one of those 3 teams, and they also have a 52.1% chance to get a top 4 pick, which is why we are going to be watching that draft lottery here in about 10 days as closely as we are, because if the Pacers fall out of the top 4 based off the lottery, they're losing that pick to the Clippers. Okay? So, with this new system, the new system actually decreases the likelihood that a bottom 3 team can get a first round pick. It actually incentivizes teams in 4 through 8 to end up getting a better chance at that top pick, right? So, Ben, I want just to kind of have an open discussion about this. What do you think about this new proposal? It's not official yet, but they're definitely looking in that direction.
I saw a tweet that I thought summed this up perfectly, which was like, is this the bad example that they leak to make the real tanking look better? It sucks, man. I think, look, we've talked a lot about how it's just kind of difficult, right, to really figure out a solution that makes sense for everybody. And, you want teams to fight to win and all that. But this is bad because sometimes bad teams are just bad. And it's not really by choice. And the way that they can get better and the reason that they tank is so they can get a good pick, get a franchise altering player, and change their fortunes. By doing this, where you can't win the top pick in consecutive years, that's fine. That never happens. But you can't pick three straight times in the top 5.
Yeah.
You're just and flattening the odds to where teams that are the worst have worse odds. Like I just don't see it working. And especially expanding the lottery to me is like I think the most egregious part, where now you have the like play-in seeds and teams that qualify for the playoffs that will be potentially winning the lottery, right? So like a scenario.
It's possible.
Like scenario real quick. Let's look at like the Phoenix Suns are a bad example. Like the 76ers, right? They've got some injury concerns, but they're like generally a pretty talented team. It's bad. We might have lost Jesse here.
We're good. We're back.
Are we back?
I think we're back. Give me just a second to look. All right, I think we're back up. I have no idea.
All right, well, we apologize, folks, for the technical difficulties. Just another way that the NBA is ruining basketball is taking Jesse from me. But yeah, I don't like it.
I'm not a fan. I don't like the fact that a team can legitimately just be bad and get
punished for it.
Yeah, teams are going to lose. Somebody has to lose, right? It happens every year. And the thing that blows my mind is why now, right? We have seen the Cavaliers. We've seen the Cavaliers within the last 15 years intentionally tank, right? We have seen the San Antonio Spurs did it for seasons to get Wemby, Harper, to get Castle, to get all these dudes. Why now? And what this also does, it does two different things. The league is so focused on expansion. Those expansion teams are going to suck. They're just going to suck.
This ain't hockey where you can just like microwave competitiveness, apparently.
And because of that, they're not thinking about this. Because these teams that are going to be coming into the league are going to have to build through the draft. Okay? The other thing is that what it's going to do, it's going to force these mid-market teams and small market teams to overpay for guys, just to have.
I was about to be careful.
Yeah, they're going to overpay free agents. It's going to affect the market, and it's going to affect the books. The reason why the Pacers have had so much success in recent years is because they have really clean books, right? They have really, really clean books. And they have continued to set themselves up for success. By how? By drafting well, Andrew Nemhard, right? And using those draft picks of theirs to go get guys, right? And it's super frustrating to me that we're not thinking about the ramifications. To me, the draft lottery is completely in tune with the rest of the NBA ecosystem. It's the same concept, right? If you have a mosquito problem and you want to get rid of the menaces, you want to get rid of the mosquitoes, you have to think about the rest of the food chain. And I don't think they're doing that. And that's what concerns me the most, right? You take something out of the ecosystem, it's going to affect something else that you probably aren't going to be able to notice until it's too late.
And this is also it's a problem in a league where free agency is not equitable, right? Players want to play in New York, they want to play in Miami, they want to play in Los Angeles. There's about a third of the league just vastly outranks. Nobody's signing a free agent contract in Charlotte, right? No. David West, when we signed him as a free agent the year that we did, we being, these guys, that was the biggest free agent acquisition in our franchise's history, and that was like a one-time all-star player signing with us on the other side of 30. Like, teams in small to mid markets do not attract free agents. Historically, that has been proven time and time again. And to your point, they're going to have to overpay guys, but even if they do, some guys just it just makes no sense to me. And I feel like we're going to create new problems, and I don't like it. I don't want to just keep repeating myself, but I'm not a fan.
All right. Let's get out of our frustration here, and let's talk some games here. Let's go back to our classic. It's been a second since we've done a playlist game. It's been a minute, and I really miss doing it.
I think it's been 2 weeks. Didn't we do the one before the draft?
Or you don't have
2
to
shows
at
least.
Live, dude. We can have a discussion off camera.
But it's like we had 1 week off. I mentioned.
It's a disease, man. I gotta get on my Spotify. All right, so
I support it.
I'll go ahead. I'll go first here, and again, we kind of went chaos mode with these, and it was a lot of fun. And I think as this game has continued to evolve, we've kind of lost the plot a bit.
We never had a plot.
No,
for sure.
We really didn't. But oh yeah, I am blurry. Look at that.
Yeah, I don't know, man. We're just gonna have to power through, I guess. They don't want to see. They don't want to have a young king winning.
I guess not. I'll try to reboot my camera. Y'all can still hear me though. You don't really need to see my reactions to this, but with that, let's see if that works. Nothing. Oh, well.
That's all right. We'll figure it out.
That's something for next week. My phrase for the week is "everybody in the glove getting mitteny," which is a play on words of the song "Tipsy" by Shabuzi. If you're not familiar.
No. You take that back. Jaquan did not pave the way for Shabuzi's cheating ass to profit off of his success for you to say this is from Shabuzi. I promise you it is a play on words of the actual original song.
Right. Touchy subject. Anyway, for this one, I thought about, wearing gloves, wearing mittens, and it reminded me of one of my favorite times of the year up north was that late fall kind of transitioning into winter time, and it reminded me of a coziness, and I wanted to have songs that were cozy. So I have 10 songs here. It's actually my shortest one that I've made. That I just think.
It's fine. It balances me.
That I just think work. I just think they work in this context. The first one is "Yellow" by Coldplay. Their first hit from way back in 2000. The song is 26 years old this year, if you can believe that.
Jesus. Clutches pearls.
"Sweater Weather" by The Neighborhood. is next.
Yeah.
That one was released, I believe, our junior or senior year of high school. That's another classic.
Sounds anecdotally accurate.
Cardigan by Taylor Swift. That 2-run album of hers is actually some of my favorite music ever made. I think those two are just
Folklore and Evermore.
Vanilla Twilight by Owl City is next.
All right.
Coffee by Biba Doobie. Close to You by Dayglow. This is an 80s song. Shout out to Tim here. Don't Dream It's Over by Crowded House. Stargazing by Miles Smith. Mariner's Apartment Complex by Lana Del Rey. And Kiss Me by Ed Sheeran.
Yeah, I like the Lana toss there. Jesse, that is probably one of our most cohesive playlists.
It really is.
In terms of like actual like vibe, like in terms of actually like a playlist that makes sense. That's probably one of our most cohesive. Mine is not.
I am so ready for this.
But listen, I saw the vision. So Jesse gave me my phrase, which is, "Why is Pitbull at this Walmart in Kodiak, Alaska?" Which, peel behind the curtain here, I thought Jesse made this phrase up because that's what I do. Is I just try to think of something deranged in my own brain and then send it to Jesse, and that's probably what Jesse has primarily been doing. But I learned today that this was an actual thing that happened, and not something from Jesse's brain. And I feel a little bit better about Jesse's mental state. I did a little bit worse about mine. So that's where we're at with that. But why is Pitbull at this Walmart in Kodiak, Alaska? I want you to think about that premise, right, that I was given.
I'm walking with you.
Caitlin Clark hurt her ankle.
No!
Twisted her ankle. I don't know if it's going to be serious or not. Sorry, this is breaking news. I'm trying to pull up this athletic report. But it'd been about 5 games, so it appeared to be a right ankle injury. She landed hard on an opponent player's ankle or foot. She limped over towards her teammates. They gave Alana Smith a flagrant foul for not giving her room to land. I'd have to see the play to actually know if it's good. But she was examined on the bench but did not go back to the locker room. So that's encouraging.
That's
at
good.
least.
It is preseason, so hopefully we're just being cautious.
Yes. Anyway, I'm sorry. So think about the premise. Why is Pitbull at this Walmart in Kodiak, Alaska? And that's two things that, and the reason that's interesting is it's 2 things that just don't make sense together, right? You're like, why is Pitbull at this Walmart in this random place?
Okay.
So this is a playlist, which is a little longer than our usual range, which is good because Jesse's is short. This is a playlist built of unusual collaborations.
Ooh, I see.
Why are these 2 artists on the same song? We Start with Both of Us by B.O.B. featuring Taylor Swift.
Oh, yeah. I remember that one.
I will caveat, there's a couple artist repeats on here, which I usually don't do, but these were just the playlist, or the things that I came up with. Same Old Mistakes by Rihanna, which is not a collaboration, but is a cover of a song by Tame Impala, which you would not really expect Rihanna to be doing.
Right.
Endgame by Taylor Swift featuring Ed Sheeran, makes sense. Future, 4K.
Okay.
I need a 30 for 30 on the Future and Taylor Swift collaboration. I assume he emailed a verse, but if there's any at all studio collaboration, I need to see it. Don't, the Rick Ross remix by Ed Sheeran featuring Rick Ross, of a remix of a very popular Ed Sheeran song with a Rick Ross verse for some reason. 4 or 5 Seconds, which is a collaboration between Rihanna, Redacted, and Paul McCartney.
Not the Redacted.
We don't need to give him publicity on this podcast.
No, he doesn't deserve it.
But truly a preposterous collaboration. Demeanor, which is a posthumous song from Pop Smoke with a verse from Dua Lipa.
Okay.
For some reason. Take What You Want by Post Malone featuring Travis Scott, makes sense, and Ozzy Osbourne.
Okay.
Don't Matter to Me by Drake with a posthumous appearance from Michael Jackson. Without Me by Halsey with a guest verse from Juice WRLD. High by Young Thug featuring Elton John.
Okay.
which is mostly a sample, but you have to get clearance for that, especially to list him as a co-artist. The remix of X Ambassadors and Jamie and Common's Jungle, which has a random Jay-Z verse. Remember the Name by Ed Sheeran featuring Eminem and 50 Cent.
I remember
a couple Ed Sheeran features. Yeah. He does weird stuff. Bad Blood, Taylor Swift, Kendrick Lamar.
Okay.
Sure. The remix to Rehab by Amy Winehouse with another random Jay-Z song verse. Fun fact about Jay-Z, by the way, I could have kept going. This whole plane could have been built out of Jay-Z random verses. Moon River by A$AP Ferg featuring Ellie Fanning.
Okay.
I Had to Throw Jack Sparrow by The Lonely Island featuring Michael Bolton. It just had to be done.
That's a classic.
Summer Bummer by Lana Del Rey featuring A$AP Rocky and Playboy Carti, which I believe I'd used on a previous playlist before.
I think you did. I was going to say, I thought I remembered that one.
I'm going to allow myself to do it because it's preposterous.
It's also our podcast.
And then last but certainly not least, Old Town Road, the remix by Lil Nas X featuring Billy Ray Cyrus, Young Thug, and Walmart yodeler Mason Ramsey.
Not the Walmart yodeler.
That's who now he makes music.
I know exactly who you're talking
That's
about.
Who he is.
Yeah.
So I was sitting there thinking it did not take me, it took me shockingly little time, which is embarrassing to come up with this premise. But I was just like, I just saw it and I was like, I'm going to find the most deranged collaborations I can find.
I love it.
I told Jesse this was maybe our most sandbagging attempt of each other we've done yet, but we both were geeked about our playlists, and I think they turned out well.
I think it turned out really well. I think we both had a premise, and I think that's the biggest trick for us is to have something that we got to make it make sense, right? We got to make it make sense.
For sure.
All right. So, our next game here, going back to the NBA, we're going to talk about how can we fix the tanking. How can we fix this? Before we do that, I think we're still having some issues here with our tech. So I'm going to go ahead and shut the stream down real quick and try to reboot it. And we will be right back. We are back, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully doing a little better. Had to restart the old Mac here. And it made that old style Mac sound that haven't really gotten in a while. I was like, Steve Jobs? Anyway.
It's like he's here with
He's right here with us. It's incredible. It's like he never left. Anyway, back for some more games here, and I'm really excited about these two. I think this is going to be some tomfoolery at its finest for us. So, Ben, this first one. We need to come up with some new ways to fix NBA tanking. You and I both agree that the switching of the draft lottery is not it. So we both come up with 5 ridiculous ways to dissuade teams from tanking in the NBA. I'll go ahead and give you the floor for your first one. What is your first idea?
Okay, so I wanna caveat this by admitting that I got 4 answers deep before I realized I was just putting together ridiculous new draft lotteries and not ways to avoid tanking. So I'm going to put a pin in those, and then maybe we will save that for another podcast.
I mean, it could be a way to dissuade. It could work.
Not really. They're just wacky ways to decide draft order.
All right.
So I'm gonna hold on to those. But my first way to dissuade tanking in the NBA. So instead of a draft lottery, right, where you get extra balls for being worse, all the non-playoff teams each get 1 ball, and your pick is determined. You have 14 baskets at the bottom of a staircase, and there's a dog at the top of the staircase, and you throw the ball to the dog with number 1, and whoever's basket that lands in gets the number 1 pick.
Incredible.
And so on and so forth.
Incredible.
You know those dogs that predict watch Fido predict the winner of the Super Bowl. It's the same process. But you have even odds. So
I'm with it. All right. So my first one, I'm calling the Rogue Roomba, and To balance the scales of deliberately bad rosters, teams with a bottom 3 record must play the remainder of their home games with 3 autonomous robot vacuums constantly running on the court. The game does not stop for Roombas. If a player trips over one, you play on. If the ball bounces, it's a live ball turnover. So 3 Roombas constantly moving across the court at all times.
And I'm sorry, this is for teams that are...
The bottom 3 teams. I'd say about halfway through the season.
Okay.
They get the
and
Roombas.
so, like, if I go on a win streak, right, and I'm no longer on a bottom 3 team, do
get taken?
Do the Roombas transfer to somebody else?
Correct.
Is there ad revenue generated by the Roombas?
Sure.
Like, can I slap a logo on there?
Yeah, absolutely.
Can I sell jerseys of the Roombas?
And Roomba size.
Is that limited to the time frame in which the Roombas are servicing my court?
No, they'll be on call. You can make it happen. Or you can make them custom on NBAshop.com, powered by Fanatics.
Okay. Do they run during timeouts, or we pause them like the action?
I mean, it wouldn't hurt to have them running. It cleans the court.
Are the Roombas in play? Like, do we still have the guys that mop, or the people that mop?
For moisture. The Roombas are for debris.
Right. I just didn't know if we were maybe okay.
Yes.
I'm sure I'll think of more questions, but I think I can get behind it.
All right. What's your second?
My second one. Every time that a team loses 5 games, so not 5 games in a row, but increments of 5, right? You have to give up ticket revenue until you win again.
Ooh, okay. Are you giving it back to the fans?
It's donated. It's donated to charity.
Okay.
So everybody still pays. It just, instead of the teams profiting from, and you can expand this to concessions too, but I think ticket revenue would to start. Like, you do not make money off those tickets.
Whew.
It's just gone until your team wins again.
That's cooking.
Most of mine, I think, are punishments for the owners to incentivize trying.
My second one is the commuter transportation ban. If a team is on a double-digit losing streak, they lose all charter flight privileges. They must travel to away games via Greyhound bus or carpool in a fleet of 2008 Toyota Corollas.
Get ready to learn I-4, buddy.
Can you imagine the West Coast trips? You're the Miami Heat. You got to get in LA in 2 days. Get in the bus.
All right, guys. Johnson decided to airball that 3 to win the game. So you better load the fuck up into that Outback. Who's on to who? We'll take 4-hour DJ shifts.
I'm here for it.
Can we show up at Buc-ee's? Smith, we have 48 hours to cross the country. No, we will not stop at Buc-ee's.
You're peeing in a bucket.
You're peeing in a jar.
All right, number 3 for you.
Number 3 for me, but I want to take a quick pause. Our loyal listener, Tim Tooley, suggests only pay the winning team each night.
Ooh.
That's intriguing. That certainly would incentivize the players. It probably, I don't know. I'm interested. I like that premise, but I feel like owners could also just be like, field like trash teams, and we'll just like pocket money. But I like the idea. I think I like it. I like the idea. My third one. At the end of the season, owners have to pay $1 million per loss.
Ooh, okay. You just really want to see these rich dudes pay up.
I realized after I did them all that they were basically, spoiler alert, several of them were incentivized. I think is the thing that frustrates me the most about modern sports teams, and I think it's very topical given all that's going on with the Trailblazers, which we won't talk about today, but I'm sure we'll talk about in the future.
There, yep.
Nothing pisses me off more than owners that won't spend money.
Yep. And
so I think I was using this as a vehicle to incentivize them to spend and to compete.
I love it. I'm here for it. All right, my third one. I'm calling the relocation roulette threat, and this is the NBA announces that the team with the worst record doesn't get a draft pick. They are temporarily relocated for the first month of the following season to a city that 100% does not have an arena that can hold an NBA team. So, for example, let's say the Philadelphia 76ers are the worst team in the league. For the first month
Sure.
of the next season, they have to play all their home games in a high school gym in a desolate town in rural Nebraska.
Why are you punishing the fans?
I don't care about the Philly fans.
I said, screw the owners, and Jesse said, you should be ashamed to root for the 76ers. We're helping. This is healthy for you. You don't understand. We're helping you. I love that. It's probably, shout out to Ethel Kane, house in Nebraska. All right, my fourth one. The league runs a NBA 2K simulation at the beginning of the season. If you finish worse than your sim team did, you do not get your pick.
Okay. So, question for you: are you turning off like the automatic trades? Are you turning off injuries? How is that? Or are you just
You're just running? You're running the sim.
Okay.
And if your team makes a trade in the sim, I would probably adjust sliders so that you probably don't see a lot of trades.
Okay.
I'm not touching the injury sliders because that's just real basketball. Okay. But I'd want to see some movement, and it's not like you're then forced like, oh, Celtics traded Jason Tatum at the deadline, so we're forcing you to trade him. It wouldn't be like that, but just whatever you land at, you got to beat that, or you don't get to pick.
I'm there for it. All right, so my next
Unfortunately, I mean, clearly these are ridiculous. That would absolutely keep bad teams bad. But
would be so funny though. So my next one is this one puts a little more burn on the executives because I know you're wanting me to go after the white collars here. I'm calling this one the Rainbow Road Draft Simulator. The ping pong ball lottery is abolished completely. Instead, the president of basketball operations or general managers, whatever you want to call them, of the 4 worst teams must settle the draft order in a live nationally televised game of Mario Kart, and they can only play on Rainbow Road. No auto acceleration and no smart steering. If you fall off, you're getting a lower pick. That's on you at that point.
Jesse, I have to delete one of my entries from my lottery reforms because I also
no way. Every week.
I also had a Mario Kart tournament.
Incredible. Give the people what they want.
I'm just saying, man. Let me see whichever of the Simons we designate get up there and just like absolutely crank a red shell to victory. I believe.
I'm here.
All right. My final one is my last. Obviously, it's my last one, but it is also owner related. At the end of the season, your owner has to hit a half court shot to get a pick.
Oh.
But you only get as many shots as you had wins.
Oh, okay.
And I'm talking about your primary owner. You can't like designate like their son or whatever. Whoever your board of governors seat is filled by, that person has to hit a half court shot. and like you win 60 games, you get 60 shots.
Brother, Herb Simon's 173 years old. He's not going to get the ball up there.
Well, that's unfortunate for the Pacers in this reality.
All right, I'm here for it. All right, my last one is called the post-game apology line. Any team that loses by 20 or more points on their home court must participate in an aggressive customer service initiative. The entire starting 5 is required to stand by the main exits of the arena, shake the hand of every single departing fan, and sincerely apologize for ruining their Tuesday night.
I love the concept of like Cade Cunningham after dropping 45 in a 3-point loss, just being like, I let you down, I'm sorry.
Exceptions, though, are made for players with a +10 ± rating on the night.
I love that. You've got Cade's like, I see you losers, like I'm going clubbing.
Isaiah Stewart, get your sorry behind at the exit of gate 3.
Who was it? Just a dooming Jonathan Kuminga, who, by the way,
he's never
quick update. It's 134-84 with 3.5 to go in the game, so they're not going to hit the scoring record. They definitely took their foot off the gas. Somebody named Ariel Hukporti has played 9 minutes for the Knicks.
They pulled him
Jordan Clarkson. The corpse of Jordan Clarkson, by the way, +22 in his 11 minutes.
Okay, we're here, Jordan Clark.
Somebody named Keaton Wallace is suiting up for the Knicks.
Nah,
They should play him, or for the Hawks. They should play him more. +3 in 6 minutes.
Hey, that's 47 points better than the average member.
Somehow Corey Kispert was +6 in 11 minutes. I don't. He's literally one of 2-3 players with a positive plus minus, and the other two played 3 minutes and 6 minutes. So more Kispert would have maybe helped them. But
okay.
I love that, Jesse.
So our last game here before we end up doing the takeouts and we just kind of go on a mini rant before we end this pod is Explain a Movie Poorly. This is a classic old Twitter game that people used to play. And the premise is simple. You explain a movie doing it accurately but in the worst imaginable way. And then we'll take turns trying to guess what the movie is. So I'll go ahead and start for this one. And my first one. A young boy runs away from problems and responsibilities until a ghost tells him to go home and fight his uncle.
That's Lion King.
It is the Lion King. Very nice.
Yeah. I also have to make a choice here because I was just cranking these out and realized I had 6.
Nice.
Okay, I think I've eliminated one. All right. A man fights through crowds and side quests to simply return a piece of jewelry.
Crowds and side quests. Is this animated or live action?
It is live action. In all of my movies, I made a very concerted...
Lord of the Rings.
Yes, it's Lord of the Rings. I made a very concerted effort this time to make sure that these were like... Sometimes I'm like, oh, these are easy, and then it's like an obscure... These are big movies that I picked.
Okay, mine are as well. Yes, you should know these. My second one. A girl traveling internationally kills the first person she meets, and then teams up with 3 strangers to kill again.
Internationally? Is this live action or animated?
It is live action.
Kills the first person. Teams up with 3 others to kill again. It's a superhero movie for sure, right?
Nope.
No?
No.
Oh.
Has fantastical elements, but it is not a superhero movie. It is also incredibly old.
Incredibly old. Can I have one of the actors in the movie? Doesn't have to be the lead actress.
It's the only one I know. It's Judy Garland.
Oh, Wizard of Oz.
Yep, Wizard of Oz.
That's good. That's a good one.
Right. Your number 2.
My number 2 is a father realizes he really should have thrown an air tag on his son.
Finding Nemo.
Yes, Finding Nemo.
I love that. My third one. A farm boy joins a cult and blows up a government building.
Farm boy joins a cult and blows up a government building. Man, you did so much better than I did at stumping. Live action or animated?
Live action.
Is it a Superman movie?
It is not.
But there's no other farm boys in fiction.
Farm is a loose interpretation of what he does.
Farm boy joins a cult. Can I have an era?
70s.
70s. We took a different direction. I think you've got me. I don't.
It is one of the most iconic film franchises of all time. You and I both like it.
From the 70s?
Started in the 70s.
Started in the 70s. A farm boy joins a cult and blows up a government building. Like a long-running franchise? Oh, Star Wars.
Yep, Star Wars: A New Hope.
Sorry. I was like a long-running Oh, wait a minute. Yep. That's a good one, Justin.
Right.
Okay. A man finds out all of his coworkers suck and also beats the shit out of his old best friend with the help of his new best friend and his totally not girlfriend, but they definitely explored each other's bodies. Sorry, I'm pushing an agenda with this one as well.
Live action or animated? I'm guessing this is live action.
It's live action.
Is this a superhero movie?
It is a superhero movie. I'm pushing agendas with these.
Is this Winter Soldier?
It is Winter Soldier.
Yes!
You could not tell me they did not sleep together.
Oh,
I'm
100%
sorry.
they did. There's no way.
They chickened out of giving Captain America Black Widow, and they tried to force a Hulk Black Widow romance, but we know that they blinked. I'm sorry, it's canon.
Yes, there's no way they didn't. All right, my fourth one. A desperate father hires a woman to sing about the joys of cough syrup.
A desperate father hires a woman to sing about the joys of cough syrup. Is this a lean joke?
Not necessarily, no.
Okay. A desperate father. Live action or animated?
It is live action. She's on the right track.
What did Ashlyn say? It's a Disney movie. Well, yeah, I was thinking, because at first I was like, is this, I don't know, I'm trying to remember, like, the singing Disney movies. I feel like there's an obvious one that I'm not thinking of.
Tim's got it in the chat if you want to see it.
You said live action?
Yep. They recently did a remake of it with Emily Blunt. Within the last...
Is it a princess movie?
It is not a princess movie.
Emily Blunt? I don't know that I know her film.
They did a remake of it. It is one of the more iconic characters that Walt Disney himself produced.
Was Emily Blunt Mary Poppins?
She was. She did. There was a Mary Poppins Returns movie. Yep.
I remember that movie. I did not remember. I mean, I never saw it, but I did not remember that Emily Blunt was Mary Poppins. That's crazy. All right, I have to make a choice here. I feel like these are both pretty obvious, so I'm going to push a narrative instead. Gratuitous cameos galore as one hero throws literally everything at the wall to try to induce nostalgia and box office success to mostly positive results.
Is that Deadpool?
It is the most recent Deadpool.
Yep. Fair enough.
If you're looking for a plot, there is none.
There is none. No. It is straight up fan service.
Can I hit you, because you got that one so fast, can I hit you with an honorable mention?
Sure, go ahead.
Arrogant businessmen reopen the world's worst tourist destination and are shocked when it all goes to shit once more.
Jurassic Park.
Yeah, Jurassic World,
Jurassic
technically,
Park,
but yeah. All right, hit me with your last one.
All right, a man drives into a black hole so he can haunt his daughter's bookshelf.
Oh, this is Interstellar, baby.
One of the greatest movies of all
time.
time.
One of the greatest movies of all time, yeah.
Incredible. That was fun. I enjoyed it.
I know that forwards and backwards.
Yep. I was actually listening to the score earlier today when I was working. And I was like, man, Hans Zimmer, just goat. Absolute goat.
He's one of my two Rushmores of movie composers.
I'm guessing John Williams?
3. Sorry, I forgot about John Williams. You know I'm talking about my man Ludwig Göransson?
Yes. Oh, yes.
Obligatory Sinners reference.
Absolutely. Cool. That was a lot of fun. That's one that I definitely think we can do again. And
yeah, I love it.
That was a lot of fun. I enjoyed that. Alrighty. So we got the take. Oh, wait, we forgot about Ash and I kind of met him when we were in New York, and we saw Back to the Future on Broadway. Alan Silvestri, another
he's done some of the event. He did the Avengers scores.
Yeah.
Very some great. There's a lot of like I say this like I lived in a different time, but there are a lot of like really good composers right now.
Absolutely, especially Spider-Verse. What?
Pemberton, I think, right?
Daniel Pemberton. Yeah, he's got.
Is it wrong that I know that?
No, he's incredible. I should know that. Alrighty, Takeout. If you're new to the pod, the Takeout is just kind of our time to throw out some takes and see what sticks. Ben, how many do you have this time around?
I have 2.
I have 2 as well. All right, I'll give you the floor first. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm gonna do this without specific plot discussion because I don't want to spoil this show for people that are watching it and maybe behind or think about watching it. Dude, I can't express to you how disappointed I am with the current season of Daredevil.
Really? I have not started.
It is. It's bad, man. It's just not good. And I'm tuning in. I'm always gonna watch Daredevil, right? And there are good elements to it. There's some good character growth. Daredevil is a side character in this show. He barely. Somebody did the math before this. I don't know. This didn't include this week's episode because I saw this stat over the weekend. But two of the side characters had more screen time, like side, like original, like or like very minor, like comic characters. Which like not everybody has to be like an A-list comic book character to matter in these shows. But these two other like side characters had like more screen time this season than Matthew Murdock, which is just insane. Sorry, spoilers, Matthew Murdock.
That can't happen.
I gun to my head, I couldn't tell you what his arc this season is. Like there are gestures at it, but like it's just not like there's one episode left, and it just like doesn't. It feels like we just started. This is a wider complaint where I think we got to get rid of these like 8-episode seasons that want to tell these big stories. If you're gonna do 8 episodes, it needs to be shorter. And I was so excited for Daredevil Born Again, and there's been good moments, but this show right now is just, what if we built the whole plane out of hype moments and aura and like don't worry about like what else is happening.
And that completely defeats the purpose of his character, because there's so much depth, and the original show back on Netflix was so good with the plot.
Unbelievable. One of the showrunners, I think it's the showrunner from Born Again, because he's done both seasons, was like, or showrunners or producers or whatever, was basically like trashing like all the characters in rooms having conversations, but that's what made the first show so good, is you have these characters with such strong ideals that are like struggling to convince each other, and you know, just they have to win not just the physical battle, but the moral one, especially characters like Daredevil and Kingpin, where their ethos and their ideals are so core to their characters, and especially Daredevil, it's not good. I think that it just has disappointed me so thoroughly this season and last season. I'm gonna keep tuning in, right? But it's just like literally they're just like, oh look, it's just like they're bad. It's also, this is the 5th season of a Daredevil show, because this is a continuation of the Netflix show. It's time. I'm sorry. We need to move on from the Kingpin.
Yes, it's time.
He's been the main villain for 5 seasons, and they've run out of interesting things to do with him. The premise for this one was this Born Again was interesting, but we're now at the end of the 2nd season, and I don't really feel like we've really
and Kingpin has other things that he needs to do within his story as well. We need some Spider-Man action. Like, there's other things besides just Daredevil that he uses his character for.
And I'd rather see Daredevil challenged in a different way. They kind of gestured at that last season. It didn't really stick, and it felt kind of like a rug pull. And then this season, it's just like, and again, I'm not somebody, I don't need like 40 minutes of action all season, but I feel like he's barely done anything this season, and it's very disappointing. There's still some really powerful moments, and there was a moment that ended as we record this. Episode 7 came out this week, and the end of that episode was like shock. I'm still like, there's moments where I'm like, oh my god, or like holy shit, but like so many of the broader decisions and the pacing and all that is trash. So I wanted to take a couple minutes here and complain publicly.
Right. My first one is going back to the NBA. And here's my thing. I don't want to come off as an NBA hater. I don't want to come off as a whiny NBA fan. I love the NBA. I love the product that is on the court. I love the level of quality basketball that is being played in the league today. To me, it is my favorite league. And that comes from someone who loves baseball and loves the NFL and loves a lot of different sports. The NBA is my league. It is my favorite to watch, and it is the one that I can watch the deepest across the most teams, that I feel like I can really, even when my team's not in it, I can still have a really nice time watching basketball. The NBA broadcast rights, being as splintered as they are, is ruining what has been a very entertaining playoffs, right? We can talk about the quality of basketball, right? The East is weaker right now. But the fact of the matter is the game in front of me is actually a fairly enjoyable product, right? It's competitive. Is it at the highest level it's ever been at? No. But at the end of the day, I had to purchase a month of Peacock just to watch the games because I don't have a cable package, right? And I do streaming, I watch YouTube Premium, I do my things there, right? But the fact of the matter is, if you wanted to watch all the games, you had to have access to ESPN. Thank you to my father-in-law for giving me your Xfinity password. You have to have Prime, and you have to have Peacock to watch the games. That's not acceptable. That's not acceptable to me. It is playoff basketball time, and it needs to be more accessible, especially because I'm a subscriber to the NBA package for the full season. What do you mean I can't watch it? And it's super frustrating to me that a league that has consistently struggled to grow within its own home base between the US and Canada, that it continues to lose market share to other sports, is still being this restrictive. And it goes back to ad revenue from gambling companies to just priorities being in the wrong place. And I'm very happy that the game has expanded globally, and I think it's wonderful. I love that Southeast Asia loves basketball. I think it's one of the coolest things. I think Eastern Europe is one of the hotbeds for extremely good basketball talent. It is a global game now. But you have to take care of your core market, or you're going to lose it. And baseball is finding that out the hard way. And it's so frustrating to me that I can't watch games easily. It drives me absolutely insane.
And it's an issue across all sports, but basketball especially is just so insane. I don't know if you saw this, Jesse. This is not NBA, but it's basketball. But today, Duke announced a multi-year agreement with Prime Video. They're going to stream 3 neutral site non-conference broadcasts in the upcoming season. It's their games against UConn, Michigan, and Gonzaga, which are all, like I said, neutral sites. It's the first deal of its kind between a college sports program and a streaming platform.
That's a slippery slope.
So now you have individual entities that are making these deals, and it's becoming so hard to be a consistent fan of a team and being able to watch consistently. The NFL is another hornet's nest where your teams only play 17 games and you need 5 services to see all of your 17 games. And hopefully your game sells out in your local market, or you're blacked out anyway.
Right.
And it's just baseball, like you said, baseball fucked around and they're finding out.
Yeah.
And
they put all their eggs into FanDuel Sports Network, and it collapsed on top of them. Here's the other frustrating thing too. So the Cardinals were part of the FanDuel network, right? FanDuel Sports Network collapsed, and it defaulted back to MLB. So MLB is providing the streaming services for the Cardinals this year, which is fine. I have no problem with that. They kept the same crew. Everyone still keeps their job, and the system continues to run. Tell me why I'm buying a subscription directly from Major League Baseball. I'm still getting blacked out for an Apple TV Plus game on a Friday night. I am paying you for this season, and I'm getting blacked out, and I'm paying directly to the source itself, and I still can't watch every game. Granted, they play 162. I'm not going to watch every single one, but if I'm sitting there on a Friday night resting after work, right, it's utterly ridiculous. And I frankly, it's so frustrating to be a sports fan sometimes, because I want to invest. And the thing is, I'm more willing to invest in things that I can watch. Right, I went on a jersey spree last year when the Pacers went on their run. Right, I spent a good pretty penny on some jerseys. Right, I got my Tyrese jersey, I got my Nembhard Finals jersey, and I got my Pascal jersey, and that matters, right? That matters, and it's just they're losing the plot in my opinion.
Yeah, 100%. I totally agree. My second one, I feel like I usually use the takeout to kind of complain. I actually have a positive takeout here, which I think is a good palate cleanser after some of our grumbles. I just wanted to kind of highlight, we're truly in a golden age of cozy comfort sandbox games.
Yes.
I know that Pokopia has been kind of a huge phenomenon. It feels like literally everybody's playing it.
It's so good.
Also, quick sidebar. Publicly have to thank Jesse for teaming up with my wife to surprise me with a Switch 2. Was not expecting that at all. I caught on immediately that Cheyenne was up to some shady business. because I had somewhere to be early on a Saturday for an extracurricular, and Cheyenne was up and out of the house before me and was acting all. She's like, "Oh, I just gotta go like run some errands or whatever," and it's like I love my wife to death. She's horrible at keeping surprises sometimes.
Hey, she
I mean,
she held the universal surprise down. I'll give her that much.
She did, and
She
that
held
was
fort
just
down.
like feather in her cap. And I was surprised, but I knew she was up to something. But anyway, so I bring that up to say, you know, like she had seen how I felt left out of all the Pokopia because everybody's playing it, and I wanted to play it so bad. And I was like, well, you know, I don't know if now's the time to invest in the Switch 2. Like, I'll be fine. Like, it's a game. And so part of the reason she didn't get the Switch 2 just so we could play Pokopia, but we just both kind of assumed that that's what we would do. And then on the first night that I booted up the Switch 2, I downloaded the demo for Tamagotchi Life. Kind of on the spur. I was just honestly aimlessly browsing around in the Nintendo shop. And I saw it there. And I had seen like a couple tweets saying like, oh, this demo is kind of cool. And I was like, you know, it was like late that night and I wasn't going to be able to get into anything like super extensive. So it's like, I'll just download this demo and try it out. It'll be fun, like a little Switch 2 program. We haven't left.
Yep.
I bought the game that night.
Every time.
Still don't own Pokopia.
Literally every night that I have gotten on to play Pokopia, there's always a little notification in the top left corner if you're not a Switch user. But there's a little thing in the top left corner, and it'll tell you if you have a friend on and what they're playing. And every single time I log on to play Pokopia, it pops up and it says Ben, and he's playing Tamagotchi Life. And I'm like, oh, brother got hooked. They got him.
And for those that don't know, I won't dig into all the nuance of the game, but it's essentially you're making these Miis, and they live on this island together, and they interact with each other, and there's all this customization. You can give them phrases to say, like we taught them about hooping, so they'll talk to each other about hooping, or you know, crazy stuff like that. I taught some Miis about committing tax fraud, so now they ask each other if they love committing tax fraud. You know, like silly stuff like that. It's truly like it's a fishbowl game where you introduce these concepts, you like kind of arrange these people, and then they just like interact with each other and you watch. And Cheyenne and I have never really played a lot of like co-op games together, but we don't play this game separate. We sit down every night because you got to check in on your Miis. It's meant to be consumed like 15 to 30 minutes a day. You just kind of like pop in, there's new daily things to do, and then like you just check in. And we're hooked. Like I've got Shaquille O'Neal and Link buddying up on the beach. And then like the customization is unbelievable. I played a lot of Animal Crossing when it came out. I haven't touched it in a long time. It blows Animal Crossing's customization and like design out of the water. It's insane what you can do in this game. But you have Tamagotchi Life, right? You have Pokopia. You have Animal Crossing. Stardew Valley is still super popular and is about to get a big update. Even you have other games like Sims has not gone away, right? Yep. Disney Dreamlight Valley is popular. Yep. Like we just have so many great games right now that are just great. Like, you know, I want to make a coffee Saturday morning, sit on the couch with my wife, and like just kind of like laugh. Yeah. Like I have so many screenshots and recorded videos on my Switch of just ridiculous things that like we've made our Miis say or all that. And like Cheyenne and I made ourselves in the game, and you could tell the game, like if there's a real world relationship between the Miis, they may be more predisposed to things. So we told them that we were partners in real life. And so they've obviously fallen in love. We also kind of forced them to. But like just the cute little interactions there, like we're having so much fun playing Tamagotchi Life. And I just, you know, Stardew Valley is one of my favorite games of all time. And I am going to acquire Pokopia and play it because I still am really interested in it. Just like, man, like the little like cozy comfort games are just so in right now, and there's so many good choices.
And I agree. And honestly, I'm gonna switch mine up so we don't end on a negative note. My last thing that I was going to talk about was actually going to be that I really want gaming to go back to being true physical copies of games. I'm tired of buying licenses, and that's just in light of everything going on with
because of the PlayStation news.
Yes.
Yeah.
And but I do want to give another shout to Pokopia and just the cozy gaming in general, because the world's a stressful place right now. The world is a very confusing and overwhelming place, and for us to be able to have something that doesn't necessarily have a villain in it. That doesn't necessarily have something, right, that you have to go against, that you can just enjoy the journey. I'm really excited for Yoshi and the Mysterious Book for that.
Yeah.
Because, again, that's going to be another one where there's no lives, there's no health bar, you just explore. And I feel like the popularity of these games, obviously these companies want to make money, but they are really listening to the fact that people want stuff that they can decompress with.
We want to disassociate so
right.
bad.
And I can tell you firsthand, because I know you're going to be playing Pocopia at some point. As an avid Animal Crosser myself, I have found the terraforming and building in Pocopia to be, I think, the most intuitive in any game. And what I love about it is that it's great if you have your Pro Controller and you're on the couch, but if you want to watch something on TV and handheld, it's still really intuitive. It's just smooth. There's enough story, there's enough lore, for the people who are diehard Pokemon fans like yourself, and for people who are fairly novice to it, like me, who are aware of the Pokeverse and are aware of all the things that go into it, but haven't really dug into it. It's been a really fascinating journey in how they've told the story of this space. And I cannot say enough good things about it. It is already, and I told this to Ashlyn the other day, and it's kind of shocking, considering I've been playing video games my whole life. It is already in my top 3 games of all time. And
wow.
It is special. It is a special one, and it's a game that I don't think I'm ever going to fully finish, which is pretty cool. You don't have to worry about that falling off a cliff, like, well, now what do I do, kind of situation. So, great shout on the cozy couch gaming. It's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah. Like, Cheyenne is currently on her way home from some other plans she had tonight. And I'm just like foaming at the mouth, being like, all right, what have our Mii's done? We've been taking turns, and like Cheyenne has played plenty of games. She's never been like my level of like all the time, but like it's been so refreshing to have something we look forward to and play together. And like I'll talk to a couple Mii's, and then I'll pass it to her, and they play little games with you, and we alternate whose turn it is to make a Mii. So we have. Sorry, Ryan has joined the chat,
bro,
and I see that he's putting Magmar to work.
Bro, Magmar hasn't seen the sunrise in a couple weeks in Rocky Ridges in my island. That poor boy has been making me some iron, and it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, I just like I'll wrap up my point here, and then we can get out of here. I just like it's been so fun to play a game with like together with my wife, and we'll have to. She's gone a lot of June, so we'll have to figure out what we're gonna do in June. But
that's your Pocopia era.
Maybe that's my Pocopia time frame. But it's been really fun. I've just really enjoyed. Like you made mention, like life is hard and scary sometimes, and it's just nice to be able to turn my brain off and just enjoy myself playing a game and not have to worry about. Like I love Stardew Valley.
It's so good.
It's very soothing to me. But sometimes it is like. There's the pressure of like, oh man, I only have X number of days left in spring, and like I got to do all these things, and I got to progress. And I think I do better than some with that, because I'm like, it's all right if I don't get it done, it'll happen again later. But like having a game that truly has literally like no objective, but like just kind of vibe and hang out and have a good time, it's been really cleansing.
One last thing before we go. Tomorrow is the beginning of May. May is Mental Health Awareness Month. If you need help with anything, please make sure you go get that help. Have some people in your corner. If you don't know if you have those people in the corner, you can reach out to us. We are both very big advocates for mental health, and make sure you're taking care of yourself out there.
Absolutely. I co-sign everything Jesse said. Nothing is more important than taking care of yourself. You got to make sure that you're right. And, we often prioritize our friends and their feelings because we want to be good people, but it's just as important to take care of yourself as it is to take care of others.
Can't take care of others unless you're taken care of too.
Right.
All right. And with that being said, that wraps up the 19th official episode of the Spillin' It podcast.
Really? You said that? I don't know if that's accurate. I don't know.
Ryan, the Hawks putting me there. Brother, Please call us if you need something. It's gonna be a long night. With that being said, that's the end of the Spillin podcast. We'll catch y'all next week. Peace out. We'll see you later.